Let me tell you why this video had to happen. All right, over the past year, I've reviewed over 100 LinkedIn profiles from really successful founders, many of them running multi-million-dollar companies. They are sharp. They have built something real. But here's what really shocked me about these people. Nearly all of them were pretty much invisible online. Not invisible in the sense of no followers, but invisible in the ways that actually cost you trust, clients, and inbound opportunity. So what I saw, it wasn't really incompetence, it was misalignment. And these were founders with a very deep track record of success, big exits, investor backing, 8-figure operations, okay, brilliant insight and actual results. Yet their LinkedIn presence, it looked like they belonged to a mid-level consultant back in 2017. Why? Because no one ever really taught them that LinkedIn isn't just a resume platform. It's really a conversion asset, a personal sales engine, a signal to the market that you are here, that you are credible, and you are in demand, even if you don't post every single day or play the game. So I started digging deeper. What really separated the profiles that convert? The ones that generate $50,000 plus clients, podcast invites, investor pings, from the ones that get ignored? What were the patterns? Where were most people bleeding trust? And how could I build a very simple framework that founders could follow to fix it? And that's exactly what this video is all about. I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest problems that I see in almost every founder's LinkedIn presence. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do about this, each and every one. But here's the twist. This isn't about posting more. It's about positioning, perception, and precision. Because if your profile doesn't really create an instant trust signal, no one cares how good your funnel is going to be. So let's get into it, guys. All right, here's problem number 1. Founder story fog. Let's start with the most common and the most costly issue that I see. Their story is foggy, or worse, it's generic. When I land on a founder's profile, I really should be able to tell within 5 seconds who you are, what you've done, who you help, why you're different. Instead, I usually see a very big wall of buzzwords, right? Generic founder speak, or a robotic career timeline that kind of reads like a resume built by ChatGPT. Serial entrepreneur with a passion for scaling businesses and empowering teams. Okay, great. So is everyone else. Look, if your story doesn't emotionally differentiate you, you're going to become forgettable and fast. And in a high-trust sales game, forgettable is fatal. So, here's why this happens. All right, most founders, they assume that their work speaks for itself. Or they're afraid of sounding like they are bragging. Or they never had to clarify their personal story because referrals and operations always came in anyway, okay? But here's what changed. Today's clients and investors, they are buyers of people. They want to know who you are, not just what you've built. And they want to feel something. And that's why your profile isn't just a summary, it's a signal. All right? So here's how to fix it. You got to start with a 3-part founder narrative. 1, what you've built. Brief credibility. Be specific. I scaled a SaaS company to 10 million plus ARR, backed by XYZ. 2, what you believe. The lens you see the world through. Give them a reason to trust your philosophy. 3, who you help now, who you serve, how you help, and the unique lens that you bring to the table. Then, strip out everything that sounds like it belongs on a corporate slide deck. Keep it human, clear, and earned. Because once your story lands, so do the right people. All right? Now, here's problem 2, muddled positioning. Here is the second major issue that I see on about 90% of founder profiles out there. I have no idea what you actually do now. I see past companies, Impressive exits, old interviews, and a laundry list of skills. But there's no clear current market position. And if I can't tell what your value is today, neither can your next client, investor, or collaborator. This is what I call muddled positioning. It's where your identity gets lost in your timeline. So, why does this happen? All right, let's explain. High-level founders, they often wear 3 to 5 different hats. You advise, you invest, you operate, you partner, you create. And you probably like that. It keeps things interesting. But online, it does create confusion. So, most people, they're only going to give your profile one scroll. And if you don't signal clearly who you help and how, they are going to bounce. Muddled positioning doesn't make you look impressive. It makes you look unfocused. So, here's what good positioning actually looks like. This is a line that I give to clients. Your LinkedIn profile should be a one-screen offer page for who you are now, not an archive of what you've done. So think of it like this. Your headline, it should say what you help with, not just what you are. Your about section, it should immediately frame your credibility and your outcome, your experience. It should be reordered to match the narrative, not chronologically. Lead with your current role and client-facing value. Even if it's newer, your job is not to impress everyone. It is to magnetize the right people. Here's how to fix it. You got to ask yourself this question. If someone skimmed my profile in 10 seconds, what would they believe that I do best? Would a client know that they're in the right place? Is there one clear path to engage with me? If not, you really have some cleanup to do. All right, and we are going to fix that in section 4. So starting with your CTA. All right, here we go. Problem number 3. There is no clear CTA or funnel path. This is where even sharp founders fumble the bag. There is no clear next step. You've got the credibility. You have got the story. You even have good content. But when somebody's ready to act, there's no obvious way to go deeper. And that's a problem. There's no lead magnet. There's no calendar link. There's no community invite. There's no value ladder. It's just static. All right? Here's why this actually matters. People don't browse LinkedIn like a sales page. They don't go hunting for your website, clicking around and hoping to piece it all together. You have to hand it to them cleanly, clearly, confidently, especially with high-ticket offers. All right? People do not convert on cold posts. They're going to convert when you actually give them a frictionless, trust-driven path to say, yeah, that's exactly what I've been looking for. And your profile is the first place that they look. So, the profile funnel frame, here's how it works. This is exactly what I teach inside my community, Brand Build. It's the one-screen funnel that always works. 1, top of profile CTA. Pin a post or a featured section with one action. Watch a training, read a case study, book a call, or join your list. 2, the About section CTA. End your summary with a single next step, bolded or spaced so it really kind of stands out. Keep it direct. DM me quiet if you want help scaling without necessarily burning out. 3, link field strategy. Use your link real estate wisely. Don't just point to your homepage. Drive to one specific outcome, like a landing page or an authority video or a Calendly, right? Your pinned post should act as a mini sales letter or a case study. It's the second most clicked asset on your profile. When you align these pieces, your profile, it becomes a conversion asset, right? Not just a digital business card. And once you are dialed in, that's when every post, comment, and DM, it does more of the heavy lifting for you. Let's keep moving on. Problem number 4, content with no strategy. I see it all the time. This is what happens after someone clicks on your profile. They scroll, they see your content, and 9 times out of 10, it's either totally random or painfully boring. This is where founders confuse activity with authority. So you're showing up, yeah, okay, but your content doesn't position you as the best in the world at what you do. It doesn't build trust, and it definitely does not move people closer to working with you. It's just noise. Here's why this happens, okay? Founders are busy. You post when you have a moment. You share what's top of mind. You repurpose podcast quotes or workshop snippets, but without shaping them for the feed. And that's fine if your goal is staying visible. But if your goal is more than that, if you want to book a 50K client, that's not going to be enough. You need a strategy. All right? This is the 3-piece content system. The most effective founder content strategy. It's very, very simple. It's got 3 layers. The first one are authority anchors. These are going to showcase your unique lens, your deep credibility, and why people should trust your offer. Second, trust builders, personal stories, client wins, or polarizing beliefs that really create emotional resonance and signal alignment. 3, a quiet CTA post. Calm, non-hype nudges towards your offer. No pressure, just clarity. If this resonates, DM me, right? This is the system that we use inside BrandBuilt. It's lightweight, it's repeatable, and here's the most important part, it is convertible. So there's no more trying to go viral, it's just a strategic cadence that really stacks trust and authority week over week over week. So here's what to do right now. Audit your last 10 posts. If they don't really build trust, signal authority, or lead somewhere intentional, well, you might be wasting your effort. Good content, it's not about how often you post. It's about whether your ideal client is going to see themselves inside it. And are they going to take the next step? So here's how we're going to actually fix that. All right? Here's problem number 5. 0 proof assets. You can have the best offer in the entire world, but if there is no proof, no one is going to care. This is the silent killer for most founder profiles out there. There's no real tangible evidence that your stuff actually works. There's no transformation stories. There's no screenshots. There's no strategic wins that are being shared. There's no before and after moments. That's a problem. Just vague credibility and a lot of talking. So in a market that's really flooded with noise, proof, that is the shortcut to trust. So here's exactly why founders are skipping this. There are 3 main reasons. The first one, privacy concerns. You serve high-end clients. They don't really want to be named. 2, speed. You're moving too fast to stop and necessarily document all this. And 3, perfectionism. You wait until the case study is done or that the numbers are jaw-dropping. Don't do that. All right? This is the thing that you have to understand. Proof isn't about perfection. It's about showing momentum, trust, and outcome relevance. So even a very simple client was stuck, we did this, now they're here, that can really build more trust than 1,000 words of positioning copy. So here's exactly how to build proof assets, and fast. This is a very lightweight system. First, you're going to create a proof vault. Start saving screenshots of wins. Slack messages, DMs, testimonials, KPIs, even internal progress check-ins. This becomes your raw material. Second, use the 1 win equals 1 post rule. Every client win can become a short post, a carousel, a video. Show the insight, not just the result. This is going to turn your delivery into marketing. And 3, pin 1 case study post. All right, make it the highlight reel. Start with the problem, break it down into the solution, and showcase the shift. You get bonus points if you include real numbers or quotes. But here's what you have to remember, outcome over optics. You really don't need cinematic video testimonials. You need believable, consistent evidence that your offer is going to work. So, how are we going to pull this all together? It's time to give it a shot here. This is the fix. Rebuilding your actual LinkedIn presence. Here's how we're going to do that. If you have seen yourself in any of these mistakes, that's a good thing. It means that you're ready to do something, and do something that most founders won't. Treat your LinkedIn presence like a strategic asset, not an afterthought. We said this, right? Because when it's done right, your profile, it can quietly drive high trust leads, high fee clients, high leverage opportunities, but without ever really needing to play the algorithm game. So here's the path forward. This is the LinkedIn Rebuild Checklist. Okay? Use this as your personal audit. Story clarity. One screen narrative that tells me who you are, what you've built, what you believe, and who you help now. Clean positioning. All right? I can tell in 10 seconds or less what your offer is and whether it's for me. Funnel path. There's a very clear CTA, pinned post, profile link, something, your about section, all driving to one key action. Strategic content, your recent posts. They build trust and authority. They follow a cadence, not necessarily a whim. Proof assets. There's visible evidence of transformation taking place, real results, credibility earned, not just assumed. If you fix those 5, you really have the foundation of $1 million brand. If you ignore them, you're invisible, even if you are brilliant. So here's what to expect when you actually fix these problems. It's not about vanity metrics, okay? When your LinkedIn presence is really dialed in, people DM you, saying things like, I've been following you for months, all right, I'm ready. Referrals start hitting different because your profile now reinforces trust. You stop chasing clients and you start filtering them. This is exactly how we've helped dozens of quiet founders go from brilliant and invisible to booked and in demand. It's not magic, guys. This is method, all right? You can do this in literally a week, and once it's set, you don't really have to touch it again for months. So let's wrap this up, all right? We're going to talk about one more thing here. Final word plus your CTA. You don't need to post daily. You don't need a huge team. You don't need to go viral. But you do need to make one strategic decision. Am I okay being invisible? Because that's really what happens when your LinkedIn presence is broken. Even if your business is strong, you're overlooked, you're misunderstood, and you are doing all the right things, but still attracting the wrong people. So, here's what this is really about, guys. Fixing your LinkedIn, it's not just about getting more leads. This is about creating alignment between your expertise and your identity. It's about finally showing up in a way that feels congruent, calm, powerful. It's about letting your presence do the heavy lifting so you can focus on delivery, on growth, or peace. That is the game. It's quiet, it's sustainable, it's profitable. So, here's the next step. Build your foundation. If this hits home, and you are really tired of trying to figure it out all by yourself, you should join us inside Brand Built, okay? This is the community where quiet, high-performing founders are going to rebuild their brand presence, but without the noise, the fluff, or the endless guesswork, okay? You are going to get a repeatable LinkedIn funnel model, live help on all your positioning and your profile, a system for content, engagement, and conversions. All right, you're going to get support from all of the founders, just like you. We've helped hundreds of these builders shift from being the best kept secret to becoming the obvious choice. So, join the community. It's at joinbrandbuilt.com. You're going to get weekly insights via my newsletter as well. Okay, that's at natberman.com. This is exactly what quiet authority looks like, okay? And it's going to start with a single rebuild. You've already done the hard part, building the actual business. Now we have to make sure that the world is going to see it. I'm going to see you in the next video, and if you haven't subscribed at this point, hit that button. Thanks.